I think everybody there was moved to tears, and I thought as I came out, I thought, I just wish there was something I could do.
Camilla exposed for attempting to block Catherine's return to royal duties. A revelation that has sent shockwaves through the palace and left royal insiders stunned. What was expected to be a quiet and carefully managed return for Catherine has now turned into one of the most controversial moments the monarchy has faced in recent years. Behind palace doors, tension is rising, alliances are being tested, and long-standing dynamics within the royal household are being questioned. Like never before, sources close to the palace reveal that this development did not come without resistance. Discussions meant to remain private reportedly escalated into deep internal disagreements, forcing senior members of the royal household to confront uncomfortable truths. What should have been a moment of unity and reassurance has instead exposed fractures that many believed had long been settled. Catherine's return to royal duties was meant to symbolize strength, recovery, and continuity. Instead, it has reportedly been met with hesitation. Hesitation that has now ignited speculation, concern, and intense public interest. Staff members, advisors, and insiders are said to be navigating a highly sensitive situation, balancing loyalty, protocol, and emotional reality as the world reacts. One question dominates every conversation. Why would such resistance exist at a time when unity matters most? And what does this mean for the future of the royal family? The answers emerging are far more complex and emotional than anyone expected. In the hours following the revelation, the atmosphere inside the palace reportedly shifted dramatically. What was once a carefully controlled environment became charged with tension, quiet urgency, and difficult conversations. According to insiders, discussions surrounding Catherine's return to royal duties had been ongoing for weeks, but few anticipated the level of resistance that would ultimately surface. The situation has now exposed deeper dynamics within the royal household, dynamics that extend beyond protocol and into deeply personal territory. Catherine's return was expected to symbolize stability and reassurance for the public. After a period of reduced visibility, many believed her reappearance would offer a sense of continuity and calm. However, behind closed doors, concerns were raised about timing, visibility, and internal readiness. Sources suggest that some within the palace questioned whether the moment was right, citing emotional strain, public pressure, and internal adjustments still underway. At the center of the controversy stands Queen Camilla, whose reported reservations have sparked intense discussion. While no official statement has confirmed the details, insiders claim that Camilla expressed concerns about the pace and public nature of Catherine's return. These concerns were reportedly framed as protective, aimed at safeguarding the stability of the monarchy during a sensitive period. Yet to many within the household, these actions felt less like caution and more like obstruction. The situation placed Prince William in an incredibly difficult position. Torn between loyalty to his wife and respect for the institution he represents, he was forced to navigate competing priorities. Sources say he remained firm in his belief that Catherine's readiness should be respected, and that her voice deserved to be central in decisions regarding her public role. His stance reportedly created tension but also demonstrated his commitment to protecting his family's well-being. Catherine stated his commitment to protecting his family's well-being. Catherine, too, for her part, is said to have remained composed despite the emotional strain. Those close to her describe a woman determined to reclaim a sense of purpose while balancing her personal recovery. Her desire to return was not driven by pressure, but by a deep sense of duty and connection to the people she serves. However, being met with resistance, especially from within the institution she has loyally supported, was deeply disheartening. Staff members reportedly found themselves caught in the middle. Some were tasked with preparing for Catherine's return, while others were instructed to pause or revise plans. This created confusion and emotional strain within the household as teams attempted to reconcile conflicting directives. Advisors worked behind the scenes to mediate discussions, prevent escalation, and maintain operational stability during an increasingly sensitive period. The emotional toll extended beyond logistics. Insiders describe moments of visible frustration, quiet reflection, and difficult conversations behind closed doors. The strain of maintaining unity while managing personal emotions became increasingly evident. For many, this situation highlighted the complex reality of royal life, where personal well-being must often contend with tradition. Hierarchy and public expectation, public reaction intensified as rumors began to circulate. Supporters of Catherine expressed concern and frustration, questioning why her return would face resistance at such a critical moment. Social media platforms filled with speculation, messages of support, and calls for transparency. While the palace remained silent publicly, the growing discourse added pressure to an already delicate situation. Behind the scenes, King Charles was reportedly working to stabilize the situation. His role became one of mediation and reassurance, aiming to preserve unity while acknowledging the emotional weight carried by all involved. His involvement underscored the seriousness of the situation and the importance of careful, compassionate leadership during moments of internal conflict. As discussions continued, it became clear that this was not merely about scheduling or appearances. It was about respect, boundaries, and the evolving dynamics within a modern monarchy. Catherine's position, both as a future queen and as a woman navigating personal challenges, placed her at the center of a broader conversation about duty, empathy, and change. What unfolds next will shape not only Catherine's path forward, but also the public's understanding of the royal family's inner workings. The situation has revealed that beneath the polished exterior lies a complex network of relationships, emotions, and difficult choices. As the palace moves forward, one thing is clear. This moment has left a lasting mark, redefining how the monarchy confronts vulnerability, authority, and unity in the face of internal conflict. As the situation surrounding Catherine's return to royal duties continues to unfold, tension within palace walls has only deepened. What initially appeared to be a routine internal disagreement has now evolved into a sensitive power struggle, drawing attention from senior aides, royal insiders, and trusted advisors. Behind closed doors, discussions have grown more intense as concerns surface about authority, influence, and the future balance of responsibility within the monarchy. Sources close to the palace suggest that Camilla's alleged involvement has created unease among staff members who were previously focused solely on preparing Catherine's gradual return. According to insiders, there were attempts to delay or restrict certain engagements, citing concerns over optics, timing, and internal hierarchy. These decisions reportedly caused confusion and frustration, particularly among those who believed Catherine was ready, both physically and emotionally, to resume selected public responsibilities. Catherine's return had been carefully planned, with medical professionals, advisors, and senior aides agreeing on a phased and supportive approach. The intention was never to overwhelm her, but rather to reintroduce her presence in a way that reflected strength, dignity, and continuity. However, recent developments appear to have disrupted that plan, prompting concern from those closest to her. Prince William, sources say, was among the first to express unease. While maintaining respect for family dynamics, he reportedly questioned decisions that seemed to sideline Catherine's role without clear justification. His concern was not rooted in conflict, but in fairness and transparency. Those close to him describe a growing determination to ensure that Catherine's recovery, confidence, and position within the royal structure are respected and protected. Within palace corridors, whispers quickly turned into quiet tension. Staff members found themselves navigating unclear instructions, with some reportedly unsure whose direction to follow. While outward appearances remained composed, internally there was a growing sense that the situation required clarity and resolution. The atmosphere, once focused on healing and recovery, now carried undertones of uncertainty and emotional strain. Catherine herself remained dignified throughout the situation. Sources describe her as calm, reflective, and deeply focused on her responsibilities as a mother and future queen. Rather than reacting emotionally, she is said to have approached the situation with patience and quiet strength. Those close to her note that she understands the complexity of royal life, but also recognizes the importance of being treated with respect and fairness. Public awareness of the situation began to grow as subtle signs emerged: canceled engagements, revised schedules, and unexplained adjustments to official appearances. Royal observers and commentators quickly began to question whether internal disagreements were influencing these decisions. While no formal statements were issued, the absence of clarity only fueled speculation and concern among supporters of the princess. Behind the scenes, Prince William reportedly played a key role in advocating for transparency. His focus, according to insiders, was not confrontation but resolution. He emphasized unity, stability, and the importance of presenting a united front, especially during a period when public trust and emotional sensitivity were at their peak. His approach reflected maturity, leadership, and a deep commitment to both his family and his future responsibilities. Meanwhile, palace advisors worked tirelessly to de-escalate tensions. Meetings were held to reassess timelines, responsibilities, and communication strategies. The goal was clear: to ensure Catherine's return would happen with dignity, clarity, and respect, free from unnecessary interference or confusion. These discussions were described as intense but constructive, highlighting the complexity of balancing tradition, hierarchy, and modern expectations. Public reaction intensified as whispers of internal conflict spread. Supporters voiced concern over Catherine's treatment, while others urged patience and unity. Social media became a space for emotional debate, with many expressing hope that the situation would be resolved privately and respectfully. The overwhelming sentiment remained one of care for Catherine's well-being and admiration for her resilience. Despite the tension, those close to the situation emphasize that efforts are being made to restore harmony. Communication channels remain open, and there is a shared understanding that the monarchy's strength lies in unity. The focus is now shifting toward reconciliation, clarity, and ensuring that Catherine's return, when it happens, reflects stability rather than division. As events continue to unfold, one truth has become increasingly clear: Catherine's role within the royal family is deeply valued, not only by the public but by many within the institution itself. Her grace, resilience, and quiet strength have left a lasting impression, making it difficult for any internal resistance to overshadow her presence. This serves as a reminder that even within centuries-old institutions, human emotions, misunderstandings, and power dynamics can surface. Yet it is also a testament to the possibility of resolution when empathy, respect, and open communication prevail. As the palace moves forward, all eyes remain on how unity will be restored and how Catherine's return will ultimately reshape the future of the monarchy. As the palace slowly regained its rhythm, the ripple effects of the situation continued to shape internal dynamics. While outward appearances suggested calm, behind closed doors there was a renewed awareness of how fragile trust can be when power, perception, and personal well-being intersect. The experience served as a moment of reflection for many within the royal household, prompting deeper conversations about boundaries, respect, and emotional responsibility. Catherine's approach during this period earned widespread admiration. Rather than allowing tension to define her recovery, she focused on healing, both physically and emotionally. Those close to her observed a quiet strength in the way she navigated conversations, choosing diplomacy over confrontation and grace over resentment. Her restraint, however, did not go unnoticed. It subtly reshaped how others viewed leadership within the family. Prince William remained a steady presence throughout. His protective nature became more visible, not through dramatic gestures, but through consistency and clarity. He was involved in discussions, ensured transparency in decision-making, and quietly reinforced that Catherine's autonomy would be respected moving forward. This approach strengthened trust among staff and sent a clear message that emotional well-being would never be sacrificed for appearances. Meanwhile, efforts were made to restore internal balance. Advisors facilitated conversations aimed at preventing similar tensions in the future. These discussions focused on redefining roles, improving communication, and ensuring that personal boundaries were respected. There was a shared understanding that the monarchy's strength lies not in control, but in cohesion. Publicly, attention remained intense. Commentators continued to dissect every subtle change in behavior, every delayed appearance, and every carefully worded statement. Yet within the palace, there was a growing sense of calm. The initial shock had passed, replaced by cautious optimism and a renewed commitment to unity. Catherine's gradual re-engagement with her responsibilities was approached with care. No rigid timelines were imposed. Instead, flexibility became the guiding principle. This shift was seen by many as a quiet but meaningful evolution within the institution, one that placed humanity above tradition. King Charles played a steadying role throughout this phase. His guidance emphasized patience, compassion, and mutual respect. While deeply aware of the monarchy's public obligations, he also recognized the importance of protecting the emotional well-being of his family. His leadership helped bridge differing perspectives and encouraged a more collaborative atmosphere. Behind the scenes, staff morale slowly improved. The clarity and direction and renewed sense of purpose eased earlier tensions. There was a shared understanding that the family's strength depended on mutual support rather than rigid hierarchy. This cultural shift, though subtle, marked a meaningful turning point as Catherine gradually prepared to step back into public life. She did so with a renewed sense of confidence. Her return was not framed as a performance, but as a continuation of her role, one shaped by experience, resilience, and personal growth. Those closest to her noted a quiet determination, rooted in self-awareness and strength. The broader impact of these events extended beyond palace walls. Public perception began to shift, with many expressing admiration for Catherine's composure and grace. Conversations around mental well-being, recovery, and emotional boundaries gained momentum, reinforcing the importance of compassion in positions of visibility and influence. Ultimately, this revealed more than internal tension, it highlighted transformation. It showed how moments of strain can lead to deeper understanding, stronger relationships, and renewed purpose. The monarchy, often seen as immovable, demonstrated its capacity to evolve when guided by empathy and mutual respect. As calm slowly returned, one truth became clear: Catherine's journey had reshaped more than expectations. It had quietly redefined strength within the royal family. And in doing so, it left a lasting impression not only within palace walls, but in the hearts of those watching from afar. As the situation surrounding Catherine's return to royal duties continues to unfold, the atmosphere inside the palace remains tense and emotionally charged. What began as quiet concern has now evolved into a deeper reckoning, forcing senior members of the royal household to confront internal divisions that had long been whispered about but rarely acknowledged so openly. The exposure of Camilla's alleged attempts to delay or influence Catherine's return has intensified scrutiny, placing unprecedented pressure on the institution to respond with transparency, unity, and care. Behind closed doors, discussions have become more deliberate and emotionally complex. Senior advisors, palace officials, and trusted confidants are reportedly working to stabilize the environment, while preventing further strain on already fragile relationships. Every decision now carries symbolic weight, especially as public confidence hangs in the balance. The palace understands that the way this moment is handled could redefine perceptions of loyalty, authority, and compassion within the royal household. Catherine, meanwhile, remains composed despite the emotional weight of recent developments. Those close to her describe a woman determined to maintain dignity and grace, even as she navigates emotional strain and growing public attention. Her desire to return to her duties is reportedly driven not by pressure, but by a deep sense of responsibility and commitment to the people she serves. Yet concerns remain that obstacles placed in her path may have intensified internal tension rather than offering protection or support. Prince William's role has become increasingly central. Sources indicate that he has taken a firm but measured stance, advocating for Catherine's well-being while ensuring that her voice is respected within palace discussions. His quiet resolve has not gone unnoticed, and many see his actions as a defining moment in his leadership journey. Balancing loyalty to family with fairness and moral clarity, William's presence has become a stabilizing force amid growing uncertainty. King Charles, too, finds himself navigating a delicate situation. While deeply committed to preserving unity within the royal household, he is also aware of the emotional toll these developments have taken on Catherine and the broader family. Advisors suggest that he has been working behind the scenes to mediate tensions, encourage dialogue, and prevent further divisions. His approach reflects a careful effort to balance compassion with responsibility, acknowledging both personal relationships and institutional expectations. Public reaction has been swift and intense. Supporters of Catherine have voiced frustration and disappointment, questioning why obstacles would be placed before someone already facing immense personal challenges. Social media platforms are filled with messages of solidarity, empathy, and admiration for Catherine's resilience. At the same time, speculation continues to swirl, with many attempting to interpret the deeper dynamics at play within the palace walls. Media analysts note that this moment represents more than a personal disagreement. It highlights shifting dynamics within the monarchy itself. The public increasingly expects openness, emotional intelligence, and fairness from royal leadership. Any perception of internal power struggles risks eroding trust, particularly when it involves a figure as widely respected as Catherine. The palace's response, therefore, carries significance far beyond internal family matters. Behind the scenes, efforts are reportedly underway to de-escalate tensions and restore equilibrium. Trusted intermediaries are said to be facilitating conversations aimed at rebuilding trust and aligning priorities. These discussions focus not only on Catherine's return to public duties, but also on ensuring that future decisions are guided by empathy, respect, and collective responsibility. The goal is to move forward without deepening divisions or causing lasting emotional harm. Catherine's supporters emphasize her resilience, kindness, and unwavering dedication. They view her willingness to return to public service as a testament to her strength rather than a desire for attention. For many, she represents stability and sincerity in a time of uncertainty, making any perceived obstruction to her role deeply unsettling. This sentiment has only amplified calls for transparency and fairness within royal decision-making. As the situation continues to unfold, the palace faces a critical crossroads. The choices made now will shape not only internal relationships but also public trust for years to come. Whether this moment becomes one of reconciliation or lasting division depends largely on empathy, communication, and the willingness to place unity above personal differences. Ultimately, this underscores the deeply human reality behind royal life. Beneath the titles, traditions, and ceremonial appearances lie individuals navigating emotion, loyalty, and vulnerability. Catherine's journey, marked by resilience and quiet strength, has resonated deeply with the public. As the palace works to move forward, the world watches closely, not for spectacle, but for signs of compassion, understanding, and genuine unity within one of the world's most closely observed families.